Hey, it's Doug with Backcountry Pilgrim. For several years now, I have been hiking in mostly synthetic-based base layers and shirts. Typically, the benefits that are listed with synthetic hiking clothing include that it is very affordable, it's lightweight, quick drying, and fairly durable. This winter, however, I'm going to try to switch up my layer game and, at least for base layer articles, stick with Merino Wool. Now, if you have been hiking or interested in hiking gear for very long, you probably already are fairly well aware of the benefits of merino wool. For one thing, merino wool is very comfortable. Unlike the more standard wool from days gone past, merino wool fibers are very small and the material comes out very soft and comfortable. It's a very good material for temperature regulation, whether you're in the cold or in the heat. It has good moisture wicking capabilities, which is important in a base layer because really the point of a base layer is not so much insulation as it is moving moisture off of your skin and getting it out into your outer layers so that you stay as dry as possible. This also will help you keep warm even if your clothing gets wet. Further, merino wool is fairly breathable, so when you have it on, you don't have that clammy feeling that you get with other materials. Another feature of merino wool that is very welcome by hikers is that it is naturally odor resistant, something the synthetics definitely cannot claim to be. Merino wool is also pretty natively durable and UV light resistant. The one thing that merino wool typically is not is cheap. You're definitely going to pay more for merino wool than you are going to with many synthetics. And that's why the durability is important. Another factor that I am really just now starting to really research is the presence of dangerous chemicals in a lot of the hiking clothing that is out there. There is an increasing public awareness of the dangers of these so-called forever chemicals like PFAS that are the result of many of the coatings and things that people are adding to hiking clothing to make them more waterproof, more durable, etc. Now, those chemicals are in a lot more things than hiker clothing. In fact, they are probably in a whole bunch of things in your home, not to mention in the air and drinking water if you are near a factory that makes these materials. Now, the science does not seem to be settled as to whether or not these chemicals are doing massive harm. However, when it comes to hiking clothing, if you have a choice, why even take the chance? So for all of those reasons, I am trying to make a full switch to merino wool when it comes to my base layers, so that at least the clothing that is actually touching my skin, that my pores are open to, is going to be something safe and comfortable, durable, and have all the features that you really want in a hiking layer. Now, this is going to be a gradual change. I have started replacing certain key parts of my kit. I am not there yet, but I wanted to show you some of the things I'm starting off with. Starting at the top, the t-shirt I am wearing right now is a 100% merino wool shirt made by a company called Zorali. Zorali is an Australian company that makes the clothes out of 100% Australian merino wool with a fabric weight of 170 grams per square meter. So this shirt and the sun hoodie are both made of Woolmark Responsible Wool Standard certified biodegradable materials with no PFAS or microplastic pollution resulting from its manufacturer or getting rid of it. What I like about this shirt is that it's a fairly relaxed fit. It doesn't flop around a lot, but it's not so tight that I can't move. It does not have that itchy, scratchy feeling that you get from regular wool. It's actually pretty soft and nice. Now, if I'm going to be out in the sun, I'm going to swap out this shirt for the sun hoodie. This is the same material, except that it is a long sleeve hooded shirt, and the sleeves have those cool thumb holes so that this gets right over the top of my hand. The hood has nice articulation to it. It's got a wrap at the bottom that just fits right onto my head. And all that is going to help keep me protected from the sun without spraying chemicals onto my skin, which of course is the whole thing I'm trying to avoid in the first place. Now, this sun hoodie is not the lightest piece of clothing that I have. For example, my Outdoor Vitals sun hoodies are quite a bit lighter weight, but my Coolabar sun hoodie seems a bit heavier. What's nice about this is that because of the merino wool fabric, it's still going to be breathable, it's still going to have good temperature regulation, but it's going to perform pretty good as a winter layer. Even in winter, I often only hike in a base layer with a rain jacket thrown over it if I get a little cold or it starts raining. So I appreciate this kind of mid to heavyish weight sun hoodie that I can wear well in the winter. Now, I did mention that merino wool comes at a price, and the Zoralis are no exception. The shirt I'm wearing runs about $90. and the Sun hoodie is going to go for $130. But again, what you're paying for is the comfort, the durability, the breathability, the temperature maintenance, the odor resistance, and you're getting something that is 100% biodegradable with a lifetime warranty and no foreign chemicals used in its manufacture. Now, if I need something in between these, I've got a new shirt by Decathlon. This is their 4-claws or 4-claw, however you say it, line. Now, 4-claws or 4-claws being replaced by their new brand, Simon, which is kind of combining with their old trekking line into a mountaineering line. You do need to be careful when you're looking at these shirts on a website, especially something like Decathlon, where they have a lot of different sub-brands and different clothing lines, because not everything they have is 100% merino wool. This is the MT500. It's a 100% merino wool long sleeve t-shirt. This is also an 18.5 merino fiber. The fabric weight is coming in at 210 grams per square meter. Although this material is a little bit heavier, it is very, very soft, feels great when it's on. And if you need something that is going to be a winter layer to kind of double up as some insulation and a base layer, this is a good choice. Now, if you're a pretty hot hiker like I am, this might be a bit too much if you're going to put an insulation layer on top of it. However, if you're like me and you sometimes hike and stuff like this alone, even in winter, this is a good choice because it's a little bit heavier than your like summer weight clothing, but it's not so heavy that it's going to make you sweat unnecessarily. And that is because merino wool can absorb up to 35% of its weight in moisture without making you feel damp. The MT500 runs $80. All right, at the opposite end of the top are the feet, and I am going to be wearing some merino wool socks this year. One of my favorite newer companies, Creepers, makes merino wool toe socks, and now they have come out this year with a new mid-weight boot cut and an over-the-calf sock. So I'm going to be trying these out along with rocking the Creepers that I already own. These are a new sock that is a mid-weight with heel cushioning, an elasticated arch, a mesh upper, and seamless toe construction to avoid blisters. Now, the Creeper socks, like most, are not 100% merino wool. These are 40% merino wool, 40% nylon, 15% acrylic, and 5% lycra. Now, the good news is none of those materials have any kind of native dangerous chemicals in themselves, and it shouldn't be in their processing either. And the reason that they are not 100% merino wool is that a sock has a very different function than a shirt. A shirt is hanging on you. It uses gravity to keep its shape, whereas a sock has to hold itself up. The sock needs to be able to stretch so that it conforms to your foot, and that's going to keep it from bunching up, falling down, and creating places for blisters to grow. Merino wool is too soft to really work like that. And that's why socks like the Creepers, Injinji, Darn Tough, doesn't matter. If you get one of their merino wool socks, they will always be a blend of some of these other materials so that they can function as a sock. You don't really need that so much with a shirt, and so there really is no excuse to not get a 100% merino wool top layer. Now, I've done other videos on these, so you can have a look at those if you're interested. Now, my underwear of choice for years now has been Ex Officio. To me, their boxer briefs are pretty much the perfect hiking underwear. They're loose enough to be comfortable, tight enough not to bunch up, long enough that you don't get chafing between your legs, and they're fitted so that all of your parts have somewhere to go. Now, Ex Officio is a synthetic blend, and so I did want to try out some merino wool boxer briefs as well. And so this year I'm going to be rocking the Merino Tech boxer briefs. These are 100% merino wool from New Zealand. They run about 2/3 the cost of something like Smart Wool for basically the same product. Now, I've been talking a lot about merino wool, but not everything I'm doing for my winter layers has to do with the base layer. I'm also looking at a new shell, and that is another one of these products from Decathlon. This is the Simon MT500 60-liter hiking rain poncho. Why is it called 60 liters, you ask? Well, it is built to fit over the top of a 60-liter backpack. So this is going to work whether you're backpacking or just walking around. Now, I've had a few of these kinds of ponchos, and I really like them basically because there is nothing more breathable than a poncho when it comes to rain gear. As I've said before, there is no material that's more breathable than no material. Because this is open at the bottom, has a full-length zipper that can open it up, it can release heat very quickly simply by flopping the material around and continuing on your way. It's a great way to vent quickly, and you get a lot more coverage than a standard rain jacket, especially with something like the MT500, which will cover you and a backpack up to a 60-liter size. Now, this isn't the lightest thing in the world. It comes in at 13 ounces, so you've got nearly a pound of weight here. However, it's going to do a lot more than a rain jacket, many of which weigh just as much, and the ones that don't aren't going to cover a backpack. In keeping with my goal of staying away from forever chemicals this winter, this is a pretty simple material. It's simply a polyurethane-coated polyester. No PFAS involved. Unlike many ponchos, it has a zipper, it is fully seam-taped, and it has a 2,000 millimeter water-resistant rating. It comes with 2 pockets. Best of all, the Simon MT500 only runs $32. I've seen it retail for $40, but right now Decathlon has it on site for $32. So there you have it. Here are my winter layers that I think will keep me warm, comfortable, and dry without me overheating or being exposed to toxic chemicals. I want to give a big thank you to Zorali, Decathlon, and Creepers for sending me this gear. I've really enjoyed using all of it, and I'm looking forward to using it even more this winter. Links to all this gear can be found in the description below, and if you use those links, it helps the channel financially without any cost to you. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, why don't you give it a like and subscribe to Backcountry Pilgrim if you are into hiking, camping, backpacking, and the gear that goes with it. Until next time, I'm Doug. Thanks for watching.